Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Look, smash that like button. Let's get this video to 20,000 likes. Let's crack that algorithm in the head and let them know that we are still here, man. It's been a lot of crazy things going on in this video. This is just random TikTok that we're gonna sit back and kick it today, but don't skip through this video. You will be lost in the sauce. Just watch to the end. I got something for y'all to put everything in perspective. But look, let's get through this video. Let's have a good time. Just know if you're going through a tough time, you're not in it by yourself. We're going through this thing called life together. Positive vibes on it. Let's get it. Don't forget to subscribe. Put notifications on.
There are persons that are on the planet now that are the cycle breakers. They're the ones that are breaking the mold of their family line. They're the ones that are breaking the patterns that came through their family line. And the reason why they're able to do this is because they're the ones who actually came and actually have the ability to feel all the pain from their entire lineage. Everybody else was numbing and dumbing down the pain, numbing the emotional trauma, numbing it down, keeping it as a family secret, pretending it wasn't happening, hoping that it would disappear. And it was just being passed down the bloodline. What's happening now, which is part of the whole awakening process, is that there are a group of people that are here on the planet now that are feeling everything from their entire bloodline, and they're feeling it so they can break it, shut it down. It looks like a mental health.
And they said they
decided, hey, and to people who are looking on, especially in their family, they're gonna say, oh, you are mentally unstable because you are not willing to suppress this pain like your grandmother and your great-grandmother and everybody else did. You are not willing to. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. So we really have to be very careful about how we look at mental health within the context of the awakening, because some of the people that are experiencing all of this is because they're the ones, buck stops right here. I am not taking this. I am not passing this on to my child. I am going to rebel. I'm going to act crazy until y'all get it.
Generations. Often travels through generations. Often referred to as generational trauma or generational curses. This represents your grandparents. It may not have started with them, but we're going to start with them. They had some form of pain or trauma, whether it was handed back down from their parents or they endured it themselves. But either way, unintentionally, they passed it on to your parents because they didn't know any better. It wasn't their fault, whether it was lack of resources or knowledge. And this represents your parents who passed it on to you for the same story and the same reason, unintentionally. They didn't know any better. But now there's you. You have one of two options. You can either pass it down to your daughter or son, or it can end with you. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to come with a plethora of failed relationships, of just not understanding why you feel different, why there's so much pain and suffering that you feel like you have to heal from, and a lot of it isn't your fault. But guess what? Trauma isn't your fault, but it's your responsibility to heal from it. And eventually, you'll be able to love yourself, appreciate life, and realize the fact that it might have ran in your family until it ran into you. It's not easy, but it is possible.
No one lives in reality. Everyone uses alcohol to avoid their pain. No one's in good shape. No one eats real food. Everyone's given up on their dreams. You need to realize that it is literally so easy to get into the 1% nowadays. If you just look around at all of your competition, everyone is a consumer. Everyone is having their mind and their body hijacked and manipulated by the world around them, and they do not have the presence and health to think for themselves. You need to stop consuming and start creating. Stop thinking and start acting. And most importantly, you need to start filling your mind with things that serve you and inspire you to do more in this life. You have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity sitting in front of you right now, and the only person that is holding you back is yourself.
I wasn't even going to post on this, and then I saw some clips that changed my mind, and I'll show you those in a moment. But first, Elon Musk yesterday, along with his son Little X, held a press conference in the Oval Office to discuss what Doge is doing, all while Donald Trump watched on silently from his cuck chair. And in the aftermath, one of Elon's fanboys shared this tweet that Elon reposted. It says, "History repeats itself," and it shows two images. The first image is a pretty iconic image of JFK Jr. playing underneath his dad's desk while he worked in the Oval Office. And the second is Little X seemingly bored out of his mind, crawling around on the floor while Donald Trump pontificates about what he liked watching from said cuck chair. But I can point out at least one glaring difference between these two situations. JFK Jr., as I recall, never had criticisms of his father while the press was there. Little X, on the other hand, has a lot to say, and there was a hot mic that caught some of it. So first is this little gem.
To restore democracy. This may seem like bull.
You heard that too, right? You're not the president, you need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just you watch and tell me if that's what he said.
To restore democracy. This may seem like...
That's what he said, but I'll go one better. Because he also said this.
The prices from one year to the next are the same. And their mortgage, all that.
That one's clear today. He says, "I want you to shut your fucking mouth up." And there's already people who are like, out of the mouth of babes. But let me just put this out there for your consideration. A child this young doesn't have this profound moment where he tells off Trump. He just repeats things he's heard. So if he says you're not really the president, chances are someone has said that around him and he's repeating it. When he says, "I want you to shut your fucking mouth up," he's either heard someone say that to someone else, or someone has said that to him, and he's repeating it. Either scenario is pretty disturbing. But perhaps the question we should be asking is the same one that Shay Jordan Smith asked on Twitter, which is, why the fuck is Elon Musk doing press briefings in the White House from the Oval Office? He is not an elected official. Why is he holding court in the Oval Office? Nothing about this is normal or good.
I didn't know all that was going on, y'all. That's wild. What y'all have to say about this in the comments down below? Did his little lips say what we thought we'd heard? Or what? We do know. I know by experience, that kids repeat things that are being said and what they're around and what they deem is okay. So when they come in public and they say certain things, that's because they're hearing it in their household. That's how you know something is up. I think something's up, y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what is up. Start your sentence off by saying what is up and then tell me what's up. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read all of y'all responses.
There a reason they've been hiding electric vehicles from us for over 100 years? When do you think the world's first electric car was invented? Was it in 2008 when Tesla first revealed the Roadster to the world? Nope. Maybe it was in 1996 with the revolutionary EV1 from General Motors. Not even close. The first commercially viable electric car was the Baker electric vehicle in 1909. Yup, we had electric cars over 100 years ago, and then they just kinda disappeared for a while, and I bet you can guess who was behind it all. This car here could go 70 miles on one charge and up to 25 miles per hour. Not the fastest, but still better than a typical horse-drawn carriage back then, which would cap at around 10 miles per hour. What happened here? Why did this fall off, and what took EVs so long to gain mainstream appeal like they have today? Well, in 1908, they actually held a race in Philadelphia between a gas-powered car and an electric one to see which one is better and which we should use in society. They raced through the crowded streets where they had to stop at intersections, wait for pedestrians, and swerve around horse-drawn buggies. In the end, the Studebaker electric car won by 10 whole minutes. It dominated, yet it was never adopted by the public. Often called the horseless electric carriage back then, they were easier to turn on, had faster acceleration and braking, no exhaust and no combustion happening under your seat. And of course, it didn't need gas, just an electric charge, which is much much cheaper. Better for the customer, and not so good for the companies that profit off them, and this may have been the start of their downfall. Say hello to our good friends, the oil and gas industrial complex. It really did seem promising at first, with the electric vehicle company EVC being the biggest car manufacturer in the US in the late 1800s before Henry Ford took over. So what in the world happened here? Well, first, the EVC was accused of loan fraud that bankrupted the company in 1902. I wonder who could have possibly led the investigation that resulted in that. Then, conveniently, in 1903, Henry Ford starts banging out gas-powered cars in his revolutionary assembly line process, which saw enormous success, adopting the general notion that gas was just a better product. On top of that, lack of charging ports out in the countryside made electric cars more limited and cumbersome. And in general, electric cars were not only more expensive, but were generally marketed towards women who didn't drive as much as men back then. So there wasn't much of a target audience for EVs. Even Clara Ford, Henry Ford's wife herself, owned and drove an electric car. Men, the primary market for cars during that time, preferred gas, as they were cheaper, faster, more powerful, and just portrayed as more manly in general. By the 1920s, the electric car was pretty much out of the market. Not because they were necessarily inferior vehicles, but rather due to price, lack of infrastructure, feminine marketing, and a very convenient bankruptcy. Which admittedly, lack of electric charging stations around the country is a pretty valid reason. But then again, we didn't have many gas stations yet either. Supplying cars with gasoline just happens to result in more long-term profit than charging them with electricity. And this actually goes back even further, with a couple of prototype EVs in the 1800s. In 1899, the Belgian La Jamaïque Content broke the 100km/h speed barrier for the first time in history, reaching a speed of 105 kilometers an hour. It was an electric vehicle. In 1888, what is considered the first electric car ever appeared in Germany, the Flocken Elektrowagen, invented by entrepreneur Andreas Flocken, and could reach a very humble 15 kilometers an hour. But the deeper you look, the further back in time EVs go. In 1881, Gustav Trouve introduced the first electric carriage, which was more of a tricycle and not technically considered a car yet, in Paris that could also go 15 kilometers an hour. Go back 50 years before then to Scotland's Robert Anderson, who built his own motorized electric carriage around 1832. Batteries weren't even rechargeable yet back then, so it was more of a party trick than an actual transportation device, coming in at 6 kilometers an hour and a range of about 2.5 kilometers before it needed entirely new batteries. Ironically, this one also used crude oil to generate the electric charge in the battery, so it kinda doesn't count. But more recently, car manufacturers tried to revive the electric vehicle trend, like in 1996 with the V10 from GM, a pretty futuristic looking car for its time, which was a total flop, and they quickly scrapped it in favor of more Hummers, SUVs, and more gas-guzzling vehicles. You see, electric cars are nothing new. In fact, they even predate some of the earliest gas-powered cars in history. But when one option can produce way more long-term profit than the other, history tends to go the route that is more profitable to the companies behind it. So much that it literally took an independent billionaire to start his own electric car company in the mid-2000s to finally bring it to mainstream production. And hey, I'm not saying EVs are perfect, far from it. In fact, they kind of scare me. We've all seen the brutal cobalt mines that are needed to make these batteries and how harmful those can be, and also the sort of concerning totalitarian access that governments and companies have to electric vehicles, being able to control and disable them remotely essentially whenever they want. But it really just makes you wonder, what other revolutionary products and systems have been invented in the past that never saw the light of day because of profit?
Do y'all see what's going on? Do y'all catch the vibe? Do y'all catch the rhythm? Everything that's good for you, see, they're not necessarily going to give to you or let you have control over, because if it's not going to make profit, then it doesn't make sense. That's why you have to look at what's going on in our current environment, why we're getting so much disclosure, and not just on files. We're talking about files of like the spending of the country on unnecessary things that you could be saving. Every last person that's watching this video, you can be saving more money. We can be saving more money as a country, as a unit, together to better each other and put more money in our pockets. That is coming back. Y'all gonna get to save a lot more money, but you know, just like the debit cards, when debit cards were becoming a thing, people were panicking. Why would we go to debit cards? This is a scam, this and that. Y'all gotta think, bro. It's always fear mongering when something is changing. And one thing that you learn in leadership school, one of the biggest things people can't get over is just change, y'all. Simple change. But look, let's keep going though, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments down below. Are y'all getting it? Our history, what we've been taught in schools, think about why that's getting attacked too. That's because it's not true. Because in the history, this type of stuff would be in the history books, and you would see the people that made these things predating the people that they showed on this video and see when everything came from. Like they said, all the presidents were white. No, they were black before that. But look, it is what it is. They've been lying to all of us, and we on a top. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to it though.
Scientists might have just created consciousness by growing brains in a jar and connecting them to a computer made from stem cells that were stimulated in a special way to form neural tissue, which grew and eventually formed structures and even brainwave activities similar to that of a premature human baby. They then hooked up this brain into a computer, connecting it into a virtual world where it learned to play Pong completely from scratch. I want you to realize what this means. Like, this isn't a computer bot that was pre-programmed to know exactly how to play the game. That's easy. It's an organic brain that they grew themselves that was given Pong with no instructions, and it just taught itself how to play, which is honestly nothing new. That's just AI, but this is organic AI, which happens to learn quicker and is also more energy efficient than traditional AI. It learned to play Pong in about 10 to 15 rallies, when a regular computer AI would take around 5,000. Albeit the computer AI can simulate those 5,000 rallies much quicker, but that takes a lot more computing power, which is sorta our main bottleneck with AI at the moment. Energy. This is organoid intelligence. Take human brain cells, grow them in a petri dish, and then use computers to train them just like AI. Naturally, there are ethical concerns rising as there is surmounting evidence showing us that these are conscious, like a human. Even the scientists working on it themselves admit these organoids are sentient. They took it a step further and tested out these organoid brains inside real physical robots, feeding them the sensory input of everything the robot experiences. And since the computer chip running it is organic brain matter, this technically, by definition, is a cyborg. Then there are companies like Final Spark that let you rent server space on these organoid brains, which essentially act like organic CPUs. You can even see live streams of the brain computers you're renting out. And now this next part right here, what they're doing here might actually prove simulation theory. So they have this virtual butterfly simulation that's controlled by the organoid brains, meaning the brains feel and experience everything the butterflies do. Again, the brains weren't trained or programmed how to be a butterfly. Just like they did with Pong, they were just fed the sensory feelings of being butterflies and kind of figured out themselves how to flap their wings and just exist. Much the same way you weren't pre-programmed to walk or talk. You experienced sensory inputs in the forms of sight, sounds, touch, and learned, taught yourself along the way. This is an organic brain being fed computer data to make it believe it actually exists in a simulated world, and it's also likely sentient. This company essentially just created the Matrix for butterflies, and its consciousness is available for you to rent out. And when no one's using it, it still just continues to exist with no human interaction whatsoever. If the brains really are conscious, as the scientists suggest, they're not gonna know they're this organoid computer brain in a lab hooked up to a virtual simulation. They're gonna believe that they really are that butterfly. If that's the case, what's stopping all of us from being our own organoid brains in some lab in a different dimension? Meaning this, everything we see and experience right now is our own simulation that we've been plugged into, except we're not butterflies, we're humans. And everything we do, every decision we make is not by our own free will, but by some, I don't know, fifth dimensional entity renting server space in our brains, just the same way this Final Spark neural platform lets us do. And when we sleep, maybe our idle brain computational power is used for other purposes, which we experience as dreams. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. You gotta sleep tonight. Are we really brain organoids, existing in our own petri dishes, connected to and experiencing a fully virtual simulated world? Because we just pulled it off. And according to simulation theory, if we're capable of creating virtual simulated realities, then chances are we're already living in one.
Charged in.
But that made me feel bad when the butterfly was like flying by itself and shit. And well, at least we got each other and shit. At least let's have fun while we're here, cause that shit crazy. You feel me? Let's keep going. Are y'all picking up though?
In a court because you're a battery, and then go to a prison cell, which is a battery cell where it holds your energy. They're harvesting your energy in prison. If you astral project and go to a prison, you'll see this for yourself. Energy cannot escape cubes. Everything today is built in cubes to trap energy. The ancients knew this. This is why their rooms were never square. They had pointed roofs for energy to escape. Everything you see molds your mind in some form or way. Cubes and squares are the most limited shapes. By seeing cubes and squares all the time, this is subconsciously limiting our minds. The ancients built with beauty and sophistication because they understood what they see has an effect on their mind. They changed this to dull us down, to make things more simple, to make you more simple. environment. It's all mental. It all has an effect on your mind. Think you can work this one out yourself. Minds are expanding and people are progressing inside of the ethereal university. Do not stay in the
body. Like my body right now is like my mind don't know that I'm this big. My mind does not know that I'm this big. So I be feeling like I can do everything.
Is that thing happening to her? Y'all picking up?
So when I walk in the gym, I feel like I'm fit. Or like if I'm trying to do certain shit, I feel like I can do it. And then I be like, damn, I can't do this. But in my head, I'm like, damn, I can do that. So I'm gonna walk over there. And I be going in the gym in front of all those people, 500 pounds in shorts, no shirt. Well, I have on a sports bra, but you know, I don't know.
Bring the car to the courthouse. Bring the car. We don't need to hear no arguments. Bring the car. Every time I see this heifer, she is never fully in the car. And these is SUVs. Every time I see her, she is in an SUV and she is never fully in that bitch. Get your ass in the car, put your seatbelt on, and then we'll talk about it. Cause ain't no way this man then lost his job for this bullshit. Bring
Mind y'all, she's suing well, I guess he lost his job now. Sued the Lyft driver or Uber driver because he didn't let her get in the car because she was too big for his vehicle. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments down below. Would y'all let her in y'all car?
the car to the courthouse, get in it, not halfway in it. Talk about I can fit in this car. Show me.
I get mad at me, but bitch, I don't care. She knew fuck well she couldn't get in that back seat. I can't stand when us big folks try to do skinny shit. You knew you needed a motherfucking Tahoe or Escalator or something, bitch. Why the fuck you trying to get in that little Civic and shit, little Honda Sonata, whatever the fuck it was? Listen, don't piss me off.
Shit. She said it first. Don't come for me.
I don't know about y'all. Any man out here that can sit down with me and tell me where the fuck my money is going, and I know, and he can show me that my money is not going in the right places, is not my fucking enemy, bro. He is not my enemy. He's trying to put me on game. You feel me? Stop talking about race. It's not a race thing. It's them motherfuckers against all us. People, they will lock you up if you don't file your fucking taxes. Basically, they're saying, you're gonna give us your fucking money, motherfucker, and we're gonna go buy condoms. We're gonna go get some coffee goddamn cups for our employees who's at home. And if you don't give us our money, we're gonna lock you up, motherfucker. Why ain't y'all people living? Why ain't nobody living? I'm the only one. I know I ain't the only one. Walk around this motherfucker living. You motherfuckers will kill a motherfucker for $20. Motherfucker owe you $3. You'll blow his motherfucking head off for $3. Come on, man. We gotta do better. It ain't against you and me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't my enemy, bro. You Democrat. You fucking liberal. You're not my fucking enemy. Okay? I just want you to understand is, fuck race. Fuck even the immigrants, motherfucker. We're talking about the money that they force us to fucking spend.
Well, looky. Project 2025 is continuing to move forward very smoothly, might I add. Trump signed the executive order that individuals who are on public housing got 2 years effective 2026. You have to figure your life out because public housing isn't something you're supposed to be on all your life. It's only to get you on your feet. So for all the ones who grew up in public housing and then they got their mom, inherited their mama project. Their mom inherited their grandma project. And then their grandma inherited her mama project. Your great grandma project. Baby, it's done. You can no longer pass down your project to nobody else. Your housing, voucher, your Section 8, none of that. You cannot pass it down to other people no more. Okay? The buck stops here. You got 2 years. And I suggest you use those 2 years wisely because you don't listen. All right? You don't listen. When we say get out there and vote, you say, I'm not voting because my vote don't matter. And I'm not worrying about this, and I could care less. All right, because you was comfortable. Now he's kicking you out your comfort zone. You no longer can argue over something that you don't own. So at this point, you have 2 years. And like I said, use them wisely, my baby. Because evictions will start. It's effective 2026. Don't say you haven't been warned, baby. Because I clap on this page all day. All day. Since the beginning, Project 2025 was told that this was all happening. That was like some of my main things to say. But all right, the order signed. You have been warned. And guess what? Do your big one. You got this. You got this. You got this. It's scary, but you'll be okay. You got this, baby. Rise up.
This is just too funny. This lady is here. And then there she is. and this man is here. Where is he? He's here. And then he's here as well. Though my favourite one is this lady who's in front of Tao, who is behind Tao, but just doing the same face. They're quite literally doing the same face. I just don't understand. Why didn't they change their costumes? At least take off the accessories, man. Like, what?
We are the Ku Klux.
So what is this as big as it sounds?
I think it potentially is. I mean, it's very early days. So basically, they've discovered that if they use the same technology that they use for COVID, and they use some mRNA, which is a messenger part of DNA, they take your particular cancer, they biopsy it, they take some of the protein on your cancer, and they put it back into your cells.
How many people have you treated so far?
Well, we've had 10,009 clinical trials in humans so far.
And how many are cancer-free?
10,009.
So you have actually cured cancer?
Yes, yes. Yes, we have.
Now, out of all things, now, you know, we joke around a lot and shit. I can see how that can happen. We do have in the military, like zombie protocols and all these other things, right? I ain't got time for these fast ass zombies though. Like, if y'all niggas want to take shots and whoop 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 do all this and turn into them slow ass zombies, I'm all for it. Go ahead, be stupid. But if you niggas gonna get fast like that and be scaling buildings, that shit just not fair. You know, I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got time for it, y'all.
News won't tell you this.
Called We Are the Evidence. We are an organization that represents the many adults and unfortunately many children who have become very sick from wireless technology radiation.
There seems to be a couple false Easter eggs being put out there right now. I want to make sure we dispel that right off the gate.
The effects of wireless on health scientifically are very, very clear.
So it's always pushed back to the definition of an acceptable level of radiation. And that's what this is, by the way. This is about radiation.
Wireless radiation has biological effects, period.
My name is Dr. Angie Kolbeck. I've been reviewing the studies showing the impacts of wireless radiation on our health, and there are now thousands of studies showing the following adverse health impacts to wireless radiation: cancer, oxidative damage, DNA damage, DNA failure.
Things like, memory, dizziness, and
Ever wondered why all of the ancients used to hold canes? The earth is electromagnetic. The canes they used were made out of wood and metal because it conducts electricity and allows them to be grounded to the earth. Modern day canes have rubber bottoms, just like our shoes have rubber bottoms. This was done on purpose to keep us from being grounded from the earth. Grounding reduces inflammation and charges the electromagnetic field of the body. The ancients understood that the body is an electrical machine. This is why these 2,000-year-old shoes have metal plates on the bottom. Every single cell, every single organ has its own electromagnetic field. Our spirit is our spiraling energy field. Putting on the armor of God in the Bible means to have a strong electromagnetic field.
A video yesterday of a guy who started regrowing teeth utilizing frequencies.
Accidentally, when I applied the ultrasound, I found the lower incisor grow.
Albie Ali is the first to try the treatment on humans. After 20 minutes a day, new teeth started to grow in a month.
Oh, they don't want to tell any dentists that. If all of a sudden you could start regrowing your teeth, oh, that would change it all. That would end it all. So there's another one in which we have been sold that cannot be fixed, but a guy in Canada created a device in which the teeth could regrow using frequency. And with your teeth too, you can do some coconut oil pulling with pearl powder and a little bit of clove and peppermint, and you're good to go. Somebody said, what is pearl? Pearl is air compressed pearls. So think of how people used to wear pearl necklaces, or they used to have pearly whites. That's all it is. Air compressed pearls turned into a powder, and then you just absorb it. You're eating mother pearl. And that's where the whole term pearly whites came from, because they used to replace people's teeth with pearls. In South America, if you lost a tooth, they would take a pearl and put it into the mouth because it was the exact same DNA as a human. So if a person lost a tooth, they would just put a pearl in their mouth. And that's the thing. Nature provides every resource that you need from every angle.
This footage.
Now y'all know that lately we've been seeing more and more talk about like frequencies and how these frequencies, we're discovering frequencies, how to heal this cancer, this right here, this knee injury, this shoulder injury. Well, they showed this in movies a long time ago where, you know, they would get injured in a movie and they would scan the body and it would regrow the arm and stuff like that. Sometimes in some instances, it'd take like a couple days to regrow the arms and stuff like that. There's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna come out in the future that do you think that's gonna make life better if you could regrow organs and live a lot longer, to hundreds of years old, because you can keep getting your body parts regrown? I think that would be pretty cool. Honestly, me. How y'all feel about that in the comments down below? Or naturally, are we already supposed to be able to tap into that in the mind?
Proves that people 100 years ago were more advanced in many technologies than we are. And now I'm going to show you technologies of the past that are unbelievable. For example, this archival footage from as far back as 1925. Don't you notice anything strange? They show a car driving without a human being because this is the first Opel car on autopilot. What about this anti-theft suitcase? When a thief picks up the suitcase, 3 giant pins shoot out of it and the handle clamps down on his hand. But if the thief did try to escape, you could easily catch him with this net shooting device where he wouldn't stand a chance. And in these shots from 1950, there's a folding mini electric motorcycle.
I brought my AI glasses to see the world through the eyes of AI. Bro, what is this, bro? That is weird, dog. Alright, man, this is weird. This is very weird. I'm out of here.
But if you think about it, Donald Trump was the first motherfucking president of the United States of America. And I kept on telling y'all. And y'all don't believe me.
Good morning. I ain't got shit positive to say. If they play with you, crash the fuck out. Even my ex from 6th grade still love me. I can't be the problem.
spiritual leader like Malcolm X, but I'm better. The only thing with Malcolm is he couldn't fight his own demons and try to fight everybody else's. And I fuck with Malcolm, right? But Malcolm was confused. You never go against your own, right? You keep that to the people, right? He should have handled that problem with who he had it with. I won't even say the name, but he should have handled that problem with him and he'll still be alive. Right? So Malcolm got killed himself, right? Because he wanted to be famous. He didn't want the nation to be big. Malcolm wanted to be big, man. He knew lessons he didn't teach. He knew the same thing I know he didn't teach. But they all know and they won't teach. So that's why I say I'm bigger than them. I'm bigger than them because they keep the lessons and they try to hide them and hold them with control and tell you when you die you don't go to hell if you don't listen. They send me to hell then. Because who's gonna praise a God that's gonna send you to hell for not knowing? Would that be a God you would serve? I'm not serving no God like that. That's how you know that stuff not true, gang. How the forever merciful that won't even kill Satan, who we know, who we taught everything, he won't kill Satan, but he gonna kill me and burn me forever. Stop playing with me. What he gonna kill me for? Kill Satan then. He the one backdoored you then. Stop playing on me.
Oh my God, yo, I ain't gonna hold you, bruh. I ain't gonna hold you. Am I supposed to be laughing at that? This nigga's funny, boy. He funny as hell to me, boy. And he be meaning it, bruh. Can I play that back? Can I run it back just a little bit? Bruh, I gotta take that back just one little second. He went the hell off.
Stop playing on me. What he gonna kill me for? Kill Satan then. He the one backdoored you then. Stop playing on me.
I just read, I saw about the 17-year-old basketball player, straight A student. Am I wrong, Gilly? It used to be like the athletes, they got protected.
Right.
Nobody touched them. Hey, he good now. He gonna be what we, they're gonna be talking about the block. He from the block, he got out. They protected those guys. What happened?
That's who killed my son.
The 17?
Yeah. The 17-year-old basketball player that just got shot 17 times?
Yes.
That's who killed my son.
Really?
Yes.
What was that about?
Well, it wasn't for my son.
Your son happened to be there?
Yes.
Oh.
Them blocks is beefing. They going through it. My son just so happened to pull up out there 5 minutes. They come to shoot the block up. My son's not from that block. He don't, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just so happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
What the?
That's how deep it is.
Bro, he has the potential to get out.
Right.
And he living that life?
No. But see, you don't understand. He got videos out where he got a Joker mask on.
Right.
Bunch of guns in his hand. So these kids is influenced by all the wrong things.
Right.
To shit that don't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
To shit that once upon a time when I was growing up in the ghetto, I was influenced by.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you experience things, when you go places, when a vacation to you is not going through a toll booth. See, you gotta understand, if you from Philly right now, go to Atlantic City and you call them and they say they out of town. Yo, I'm OT, I hit you, nigga, you 45 minutes away, nigga, you went through the toll booth. The f*** are you talking about? That's how poor the city is.
Right.
Motherfucker go to Atlantic City and they tell you, yo, I'm OT, I call you when I get back.
Right.
You 39 minutes away in a car, nigga. What are you talking about, you OT? So you gotta understand,
right?
That's what we grow up in. These kids don't know no better.
Right.
These kids actually think that you can't make it as a rapper unless you killed somebody. Unless you did something out here in these streets. This is the mindset.
Yeah. Why is the rap, why is that glamorized? Why is going to jail, or I pull that iron out, I put that stick on something, why is that glamorized?
I have no idea. I told you when I was young, we glamorized the person that was getting money, the hustler. That's why rap names was like Gotti. Rap games, it was always somebody that was getting some money. Now, it don't be about no money or nothing. They'll kill you about an Instagram post.
Right.
You said you was gonna slide, you ain't slide yet.
Right.
Now I slid. Like, are you serious?
Right.
So it don't make no sense. And
It's no answer for it. It's just flat out plain stupidity. The only reason why I know is because the police called me and told me once he was murdered. Once he got, because the kid had just got shot 17 times. He was walking with his mom. Oh. And he got murdered. And then the police notified me and let me know that he was one of the kids that was pretty much about to get locked up for the murder, but he got murdered first. So, and then, you know, when you do something in the streets know. So, you know, they all on Instagram and they talk, and then, you know, apparently this kid name was the Joker, and, you know, that's what he did. So, you know, but he had to deal with God. You know, that's how I look at it.
Look, man, Gilly handled that very well because, you know, Uncle Shay Shay did not know that, you know, he ain't put it together. You could tell by how he presented it to him. But damn, Gilly, you handled that very well, my brother. And I think he's good for the culture because the way that he handled himself, he has a balance of humor and he can get to the point. But I believe these young people are out here shooting is because simply everybody is addicted to want to be famous and wanting to have the spotlight on them, be known for something. Now, doing it the right way isn't the fast way that people are looking for. They're looking for that instant satisfaction, that instant fame and clout. But doing normal things are not going to get you there because everybody has tried that. So what some people resort to is doing something that many people don't do. But that thing that people don't do, it's not many people that kill people like that compared to the rest of the population. It's very small. So when those things happen, it's a reason why these things hit social media and trend like that, because it's not normal. It's not normal. Like, for instance, Michael Jackson, he was not normal. His appearance was not normal. His dancing was not normal. His singing was not normal. And all these things together presented a crazy storm of people fascinated with this character, Michael Jackson. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I think it's all about that. And these people are addicted to that because they think, y'all, going viral for some quick shit, some stupid shit, you're going to be broke as hell. You're going to have more followers than dollars. Most people think that you're going to get on a platform or build your platform and you're just going to have instant success and it's just going to always be like that. No, you have to keep putting in work. I've been on YouTube for like almost 8 years now. I forgot how long it's been, but I've been putting in work, video after video after video. I'm thousands of videos in at this point, but I still got to keep working, but look, let's get back to it though. It's always a grind, y'all. So look, just teach that to y'all kids and stuff. Teach yourself that it's a grind. You're not going to have instant success. And if you do, you're not going to be able to maintain it if you don't have that mindset of running a marathon. Be prepared for the marathon, people.
Listen, I don't know about anybody else, but being an entrepreneur is one of the most spiritual things that I could do. Bro, the conversations with God that you gotta have, the faith that you gotta have. I'm talking about when you talking about walking by faith, not faith, faith. When you walking by faith and not by sight, oh my man, we gotta practice that on a daily basis. When them sales ain't coming in, when somebody say, when you send an email back and you gotta say thank you for contacting us, when it ain't nobody but me, you gotta have faith that one day you're gonna have a team. You gotta have faith that one day, somebody gonna buy it and you're gonna be able to pay your bills. I'm talking about when people
that the firmament is starting to break. I really feel like that's why there's been a biblical earth awakening. God's waking people up to how he designed his earth so that we know what's going on. Twice now when I've gone outside early in the morning before the sky was covered, I saw the actual sky, which I've realized I probably haven't seen in a year or so. The bluest I've ever seen it, and what looked like clouds, but they weren't. They almost looked like defrosting. They were completely still. And it looked like if you've ever left a water bottle out in your car when it was cold outside and then it starts to defrost, it looked like that. And then there were gray and other clouds passing by. And now we're starting to see multiple reports in warm states of ice falling from the sky being very difficult to break or melt and damaging property. When you look up close at these pieces of ice, they do not look like normal ice. They have almost an opalescent shimmer as well as incredible detail.
And this shit drop out before the sky, bro. Ice, a big chunk of ice, bro. Out of fucking nowhere. That's what I'm looking for. Shit. Bro, I'm trying to jump on this ice.
Then we had this news story come out of Florida about a giant chunk of ice going through the roof of a house. We have waterfalls falling out of the sky, it seems. And this is going to sound silly to a lot of people, and trust me, I get it. But this is how the movie Chicken Little starts. They predictive program kids movies so that we're likely not going to see it, but it's there. What happens is Chicken Little starts seeing chunks of ice fall from the sky that are part of the sky ice. And at one point, one of the chunks of ice takes up one of his friends. That's the ice, and yes, it's a hexagon. So everybody is looking for the friend, and they eventually find him when there's an alien invasion. They go onto the UFO and they find the friend in like an experiment test tube thing, and he comes back and he's a little bit different. And then of course we find out that the aliens didn't mean harm and that they just came to visit. To me, this sounds a lot like them using blue beam to cover up the rapture. Also keep in mind the word used in Revelation for hailstones actually translates to sky crystals. Remember, we don't fear the prophecy, we just get spiritually ready, and that's why I'm updating you guys. This is not meant to put fear in anybody, this is meant to spiritually prepare. This is for entertainment purposes only. I don't even know what sky ice is or the firmament.
Flight map check, who's ready? Okay, so I saw my friend Sal do this, but apparently not many people have seen it, so let's try it again. We want to go from New Zealand to Argentina, which is right about here, and it's a direct path. Can definitely make it in one shot. So let's see what Google Flights has to say. Auckland to Argentina. Just making up a date here. Explore. Okay, now we're going to select Buenos Aires. Let's go ahead and select the first flight. Here are our options. Okay, so on United we have Auckland going to San Francisco, San Francisco to Houston, Houston finally into Buenos Aires. But why? That seems like a waste of gas to go from Auckland all the way to San Francisco, over to Texas, and then all the way down to Argentina. Okay, now hear me out. Let's see what the flat earth model depicts. You just have to see this for yourself. Look at this. So this is New Zealand. Aha, San Francisco, Houston, down to Argentina. You would not be able to make it on one tank of gas. Makes sense now. Okay, let the arguments begin, but there are a few rules. Don't play with me.
What a lot of Christians don't know or understand is the Bible actually tells you how to activate your chakras and your Kundalini energy. Listen to this.
Those are the 7 chakras of Kundalini. Now, it's a very strange thing, isn't it, to think of something like this or to talk about something like this, especially in Christian circles. I happened to watch a program on television at my office in which a Catholic priest was putting this down. And he was saying what the belief is that there's an energy that rises up 7 chakras, to the spine and then throws energy to the right hemisphere. And this is something you got to stay away from. This is New Age thought. It's Hindu, and it's something you don't want to get involved in. And I wrote him a letter, and I said, Father, you know, nice program, and God bless you and everything, but you want to be a little careful as a Christian as to what you say about these 7 chakras. And I showed him something, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Go to page 229 in the New Testament in the book of Revelation, all right? Now, I just told you about this very strange kundalini of the 7 chakras going up the spine and opening the right hemisphere of the brain. Page 229 in that New Testament of yours, Revelation chapter 5, okay? Let's take a look at what it says. Listen, and let's read it closely and carefully with me. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne, immediately we're being led to the right hemisphere of the brain of the higher consciousness, okay? Now watch what this is. This is the book of life that all of Christianity is based on, my friends. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. It's in your Bible. Therefore, we must be very careful if we get this New Age fear creeping into the point that we start screaming against everything simply because it's Hindu. Definitely it's Hindu, but definitely it's in the Bible. And that, my friends, the description of Kundalini in the Bible is termed the book of life. And all over that every church you've ever been to, they said you want to make sure your name is written in the Lamb's book of life. The Lamb's book of life, because the top chakra, the crown chakra, coincides with that which is Aries, the ram or the lamb, which takes away the cold of the winter and takes away the sins and so forth, okay? So I'm not here telling you about a strange Hindu belief. I'm telling you about something that is in Revelation chapter 5, verse 1 of your Judeo-Christian Bible. A book held in the right hand of him who sits on the throne, written within you on the backside, indicating the spine, and sealed with 7 seals, which are the 7 chakras. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar, I think, to determine that's what they're talking about. That's what's in the Bible. Now, the point here is that Kundalini means coiled serpent, and the coiled serpent is Kundalini, which rises and must rise through those 7 chakras in order to open each area of your spinal system where these seals cover up the energies of desire and feelings and so forth and so on. That's what Kundalini means. But this is the important thing I'm trying to get to, stumbling a little bit. These 7 seals or 7 chakras can only be opened by the serpent. Can only be opened by the serpent. How do I know that? Well, of course, that's the ancient belief, but take a look again, Revelation 5, where you are about this. Look at Revelation 5:2. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming, who is worthy to open the book and loose the seals thereof? With me? Who can do this? Can you? Well, look what it says in Revelation 5:3. And no man in heaven, nor in the earth, nor under the earth was able to open the book, neither to look therein. Now, what you just said, the word man in mysticism means mind. The human mind never, ever, 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 on any circumstances, can take part in entering and opening up the seals, the 7 seals, which leads up to the crown. It's impossible. It cannot be done. It can only be done by the coiled serpent of Kundalini. Can't be done any other. And the Bible has just said no man anywhere is able to do that. So, no man is found worthy. Look at Revelation 5:4, and I wept because no man was found worthy, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't even look at it. You know why? Because you cannot enter the right hemisphere of your brain. Here you have a head. How many of you had a head? Look, everybody has a head, right? In your head is a brain. 10% of the brain you use. That's the 10% of tithing. That's what God wants you to give. That's what tithing means. Give that 10%. It has nothing to do with money. The other 90% you don't touch. 90% of your brain you don't touch. Would that seem reasonable to you? This is telling you, hey, that 90% is available to you if you follow the instructions of the ancients, including Jesus Christ, who said, practice the single eye, which is Kundalini. Go to the upper room, which is Kundalini. Okay. So who is able to open the seal? Revelation
Christ consciousness, y'all.
5:5. And one of the elders said, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah is able to open the seal. Okay? Very, very important. Watch with me. If you go to Numbers chapter 2, verse 2 in the Bible, you'll find that the tribes of Israel were set up under what you would call the 4 points of the compass. North, south, east, and west, okay? Now, here we have the tribe of Dan in the north, the emotions, the tribe of Reuben in the south, the physical, the tribe of Ephraim in the west, intellect, and the tribe of Judah in the east, as it says in the King James, at the point of the rising sun, all right? And the domicile of the sun in the zodiac is Leo the lion. Leo the lion of the tribe of Judah, the power, the energy of the sun, the power of the spirit at the right hemisphere of the brain, sitting at the east, is all that is available, but it is available to you to open the seventh.
You see, everything's in that book. You just gotta learn how to read it the right way. Well, I hope this information was interesting to someone out there, because this is all fascinating and eye-opening to me. Peace and love, everybody. Yeah.
Pedophile networks use these symbols, even to this day. The question is, why wouldn't they?
More than a dozen men, including Disney employees, are facing jail time after they're caught in an undercover sex bust. The men wanted to have sex with the underage boys and girls.
Disney workers among the 11 Bay Area men arrested and accused of keeping child pornography.
Transitioning from Disney to this was fucking easy. I don't know, getting molested for fucking from your 6 to your 14 seems like way harder circumstances.
Not talked about in the media at all. Epstein was, but this wasn't talked about at all.
He's 73 years old and he was just sentenced to 7 years. It makes you wonder, all those years, his position at Disney, being the vice president, what else has he done? I had to dig for this story, and it's not on any mainstream media news outlet anywhere. It makes you wonder, all those years, his position at Disney, being the vice president, what else has he done?
This man, Brian Peck, worked at Nickelodeon. He was convicted of raping a child on the set. And a year later, he was hired by Disney to work on the show The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Seriously, you should have some pizza later.
In 2012, he was hired by his longtime friend, Charlie Sheen, to work alongside him on the show Anger Management.
When we were growing up, it's no secret that producer's sleeping with this actress or that, or watch out for that guy, he likes little boys.
And according to Corey Feldman, both Brian and Charlie had a similar penchant for young boys.
You said Charlie Sheen raped her.
Shit, I've personally heard a story about Charlie and Corey Haim, probably, I don't know, at least a dozen people probably in my inner circle knew.
He told me Charlie bent me over in between two trailers and put Crisco oil on my butt and raped me. In broad daylight, anybody could have walked by, anybody could have seen it.
It's difficult for a sex offender to get a job at Walmart, much less Disney, much less around kids. But somehow, Brian Peck was able to get both. How was that possible?
I've loved horror movies since I was a kid.
Director Victor Salva served only a brief stint in jail for raping a young boy. and even filming some of it. He has since enjoyed a lucrative career, hired multiple times by Disney to direct feature-length films.
We ordered a bunch of pizzas and we let Sal do every weird thing he could think of to the guys who delivered them. We ordered a bunch of pizzas and we let Sal do every weird thing he could think of to the guys who delivered them. We ordered a bunch of pizzas and we let Sal do every weird thing he could think of to the guys who delivered them.
And everything I've ever known, I've ever loved, stranded.
It is not just a law enforcement problem, it is a societal problem, and we all need to work on it together.
Again, a symbol is not everything. But law enforcement is made aware of the symbology of all criminal enterprises, pedophiles included. Why did they do this? Plan International is an organization that, quote, supports thousands of children worldwide. The head of their Belgium division is Regina de Prebondere.
Mesdames et messieurs les parlementaires, monsieur le ministre, c'est un grand plaisir pour moi de vous rencontrer pour témoigner des réalités vécues par les filles dans ma communauté et dans mon pays. Je m'appelle Adeline Remou, j'ai 17 ans. Et je viens du Bénin, plus précisément de la Takora au nord du pays. Je viens d'avoir mon bac et dans quelques jours, je vais entamer des études de droit à l'université. Je veux devenir magistrat.
I remember when I was in England, we were preparing some young English boys. They're from very... preparing them for First Communion.
Cardinal George Pell, Vatican Treasurer, found guilty of child sex abuse, the most senior Vatican official ever convicted of child sex offences. He told the court Pell assaulted them after
enterprises, pedophiles included. Why did they do this? Plan International is an organization that, quote, supports thousands of children worldwide.
Of child sex offences. He told the court Pell assaulted them after Mass, forced him to perform oral sex on him.
It's crucial to understand that historians have provided ample evidence showing the full extent of Catholic symbology. You can go on to the very end, and you'll never find a triangle that wraps around itself, right? So why is Pope Francis wearing it? Why was the symbol embroidered in that particular shade of blue? And of all days, why on International Youth Day? Maybe the Pope's symbol here really is just a misunderstanding. But if it's not, then we have to be prepared for what that would mean about the world we live in.
Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
That look like a snake right there, right? Wow. Look, man, hopefully y'all made it to the end of the video. Another amazing video. Make sure y'all drop that like button, man. Let's get this thing to like 40,000 likes. We got to make sure this video right here hits the masses. Let's get this video out here to like millions of people. Share these with your friends and your families, your group chats, everything, man. And it's not just to sit here and believe everything. It's for everybody to get on their case and get out here and start doing our research to see the things that are happening around us and stop ignoring these things. I know us, man. A lot of us are in fight or flight. And guess what? We're in this thing together. But together, collectively, we can help each other out, build each other up, one brick at a time, one comment at a time, be kind to another, be understanding of another, and just look at everybody's, you know, input, and don't come off insulting. If you come off insulting, then it's just gonna be up. We just gonna go back and forth. But I say this, man, I appreciate y'all for just taking y'all time and energy, kicking back and relaxing with me. But look, man, over 20,000, over 200,000 y'all got y'all notifications on always, and I do appreciate y'all. That is a crazy milestone for me, myself. That's a personal goal. But let's get to 300,000. And look, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all seen a lot in this video, and y'all learned something, and y'all can go out to your friends and families and start conversations and just make people more aware of other things that are going on outside of, you know, the program that they program most people with. But look, man, I see you on the next video. And like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. I love you guys. I see you on the next video. And I'm out though. Bye.